My aunt is incredibly beautiful. She's tall and slender, and she has a really great personality too. My aunt and I are as close as lovers. I was born in the countryside. My parents ran a poultry farm. During middle school, I lived in a boarding house near my school. Every Saturday, I would take the bus home to enjoy the warm meals my mom made. High school was no different. Living on my own near school, my meals were often inadequate, which is probably why I didn't grow very tall. Farming and managing the poultry farm. My parents didn't have much capacity to look after us. As the eldest son, I was able to attend university. Thanks to the hard work and money my parents saved, it added more burden to my parents. When I got accepted into a university in Seoul, not in my hometown, my uncle, who is 10 years younger than my father, worked in a company in Seoul. His house was a 30-minute drive from my university. But I chose to live close to my school, having lived independently since my teenage years. I was quite adept at household chores and washing dishes. My aunt was a real beauty who did some modeling in her 20s. Despite being a mother, she maintains a slim figure without any signs of fat. She jokes about remaining a minimalist eater for life to avoid gaining weight, and her discipline in food intake is truly impressive. My aunt is raising 2 children who are close in age and attends kindergarten, while also working part-time. I would visit my cousins in the evenings or on weekends. My aunt has always been kind to me. Sometimes, while I played with the kids, she would run errands at the market. She told me just to be there for the kids to ensure they're safe, and they really took to me well. I started to feel affectionate towards my cousins too. My aunt welcomed my visits, probably as a break from caring for the kids. There were 2 fish tanks in my aunt's house. They got the guppies because they breed prolifically, which was educational for the children. One day, with my uncle busy, my cousins, my aunt, and I went to buy another fish tank. The store was attached to a flower shop, offering a lot to see. My aunt has a keen interest in beautiful flowers. I bought her the flowers she was eyeing and the guppies as a gift. My aunt said, "It's so nice to come out like this without your uncle. Let me treat you to some pork cutlets." And we went to a famous pork cutlet restaurant. Even waiting in line, she said, "The most rewarding thing is doing something the kids enjoy. I guess I'm really a mom now," with a beautiful smile that made my heart flutter. After enjoying pork cutlets, spaghetti, and coffee with my aunt and the kids, we went to her house. We set up the fish tank and added the baby guppies, and the kids were eager to feed them. Auntie said, "Thank you for taking time out of your weekend to help, and I'll take good care of this plant," with a bright smile. That seemed to wash away all of the day's fatigue. Uncle was often busy with work and frequently had to travel out of town. Not long after, I told Auntie, "If there's anything I can do to help, just let me know. I'm a bit more free now that midterms are over." I received a call from her, her voice filled with urgency. The eldest got hurt playing at kindergarten. "I need to take them to the hospital. Can you come over and watch the youngest? It would be too hard to take them both," she explained. Apparently, while lining up to get into the car at kindergarten pickup time, a classmate playfully pushed my cousin, who then hit their forehead on a piece of wood in the flower bed, causing a gush of blood. After managing to stop the bleeding, I rushed to Auntie's house. The younger sibling was crying, worried about the blood and the injury, and I reassured them. It'll be okay once we get to the hospital. I found some frozen fried rice in the fridge for dinner, turned on their favorite cartoon channel, played with the youngest, and helped them wash up. Late at night, Auntie came home with the sibling. They had to get 5 stitches on their forehead, and it had been quite the ordeal. They threw up after taking a sedative, so they had to take another, and they waited until the sedative fully wore off and the child was comfortably seated before coming home. Without her husband around, it was challenging to calm a crying and fussy child, but she said it was a huge relief that I could take care of the youngest, and she gave me some allowance money. Auntie, it's okay. I've been hurt worse when I was younger. I broke my arm jumping over a fence and had to eat with my left hand for 2 weeks, I said with a laugh. Uncle got hurt a lot too, huh? Boys really are different, she sighed. Seeing my cousin fall asleep and leaving the house, I felt sad for the hardships Auntie went through, but proud that I could help. Uncle came back from his trip and took me out for dinner, giving me a generous allowance. Both sets of grandparents live far away, so having you look after the youngest was a huge help. Thank you so much, he said. I felt good receiving the allowance from Uncle and said, "Don't hesitate to call me if you need anything." Auntie, noting how well the siblings listened to me, suggested a day trip to the amusement park. I hadn't been to an amusement park since middle school, so I was excited to go along. Auntie prepared a picnic, and we spent the entire day riding attractions at the park. Seeing Auntie's excitement, even more than the kids, showed me another charming side of her. Auntie's homemade lunchbox was delicious on the way there, and when I arrived, the kids were already fast asleep. She grabbed my hand and said, "I don't know how I'd manage without James. You're always so busy with your friends, yet you still find time to look after your cousins. Thank you." Then Uncle got a call from a friend. An old college buddy's father had passed away, and he was asking if Uncle could join him. Uncle left immediately, and Auntie and I ended up drinking in the living room. With the kids being so young, he's just too busy. Auntie sighed, saying Uncle was always so occupied with work, attending to social obligations, and traveling that he was more like a lodger in his own home. She confessed, "It's embarrassing to say, but it feels like we're just roommates now. We haven't shared a bed in a long time." After hearing this, I went to my room, but could still hear Auntie's cheerful voice. This was a first for me. I had dated someone in high school, but we broke up before college, and I hadn't been close to anyone since. Auntie exclaimed, "Oh, it's your first time. What an honor. I've been relying on you, James, lately. Do you have a girlfriend, James? You always come home early. A handsome and caring guy like you must be popular at school." "No, there's no one at school. Just someone I have a crush on." "Really? A crush? That's so romantic. Tell me, who is it?" I replied. "It's you, Auntie." She was shocked. "Me? Really? Since when?" "Lately, we've been running into each other a lot. Watching you with the kids, you seemed tired. But you were always so kind to me. I've wanted to confess for a while, but was hesitant." Auntie shared her struggles. "This house guest has made things really tough for me. Falling asleep in the living room without turning off the TV, never coming to the bedroom. I got married to be happy, but reality is so different." That day marked the start of our carefree relationship. A few days later, Auntie called, "Want to come over for a drink? The kids are away on a kindergarten camping trip, and your uncle is on another business trip. I chuckled at the excitement in her voice and brought her favorite strawberry cake to Auntie's house. The outfit she had prepared for the occasion was truly enchanting. Our cute and sexy auntie. We tossed and turned all night, dozing off and waking up intermittently. I never imagined something like this could happen with beautiful Auntie. I don't think I can stop these secret meetings.